If someone just named you the successor trustee of a trust, don't say yes. At least not yet. Because I've seen far too many people accept this role for one simple reason. Well, my mom trusted me. Or, I guess I'm the only one who can do this. And 6 months later, they're exhausted. They're fighting with siblings. And they're terrified that they're going to make an expensive mistake. And some have even wondered, why did I ever agree to this? Here's the part that surprises people. Most trustees don't fail because they intentionally mismanaged money. They fail because nobody warned them what was ahead. And by the time they realized it, they were already in. So before you accept this responsibility, I want to help you answer one question. Should you even agree to become the trustee? Because sometimes the right answer is yes. And sometimes the best thing you can do is say no. Hi, I'm Darlynn Morgan, a trust and estate attorney for nearly 30 years. I've lost my husband and I've lost my father. And I've served as a trustee myself, and I know what it feels like to grieve while the world expects you to make clear-headed financial and legal decisions. By the end of this video, you'll know what this job actually requires and the 5 questions to answer honestly before you commit, and the difference between declining and resigning, because those are not the same thing. So what are you really saying yes to? Well, most people assume that being a trustee is mostly paperwork. It isn't. The paperwork is actually the easiest part, because being a successor trustee isn't just one job, it's really 4 jobs at once. So hat number 1 is the project manager. You're responsible for making sure that everything actually gets done. Gathering information, meeting deadlines, coordinating with attorneys, accountants, financial advisors, real estate agents, and beneficiaries. You're the one who's keeping this train moving. Hat number 2 is the financial manager. You may need to safeguard investments, open trust bank accounts, pay bills, maintain property, sell assets, keep accurate financial records of every dollar coming in and every dollar going out. Because if someone asks 6 months from now, where did that money go? You need to be able to answer. Now, hat number 3 is the referee. This one can surprise people. Most trustee problems aren't financial. They're relational. Emotions run high, and family dynamics can be at their worst. Sometimes you're not just managing assets. You're managing expectations. And those are 2 very different things. Hat number 4 is being a fiduciary. Now that's a legal word, and it means that for the entire time that you serve, the law expects you to put beneficiaries' interests ahead of your own. Every decision, every dollar. The standard isn't perfection, but it is documented, reasonable judgment. And if a beneficiary goes out and gets their own attorney, they can ask you to justify choices that you made months earlier. So should you accept the role? Well, I can't answer that for you, but after nearly 30 years, I've found 5 questions that almost always reveal the right answer. Answer these honestly, not based on guilt, not because you think your parent would be disappointed, but based on reality. So question 1 is, how complicated is this trust really? 1 home, a few accounts, 2 beneficiaries who get along? Well, that might be manageable. Now compare that to rental properties, a family business, a blended family with children from different marriages, and someone who already believes that the trust is unfair or is suspicious. Maybe the trust agreement itself is poorly drafted or unclear. One isn't harder because there are more assets. It's harder because there are more landmines, more decisions, and every decision creates another opportunity for conflict. Know what you're walking into. Question 2 is, Who are you actually going to be working with? Not the assets, but the people. The paperwork rarely keeps trustees awake at night. The family does. I've seen brothers stop speaking, beneficiaries demanding distribution just weeks after the funeral, siblings who are suspicious before things even get started. If there's already distrust, old resentment, or unresolved conflict, don't ignore it. Those issues don't disappear when someone dies. Usually, they become magnified. Question 3 is, do you actually have the time? Think of this as a part-time job with no set schedules, unexpected emergencies, paperwork, phone calls, and an emotional weight that most jobs don't carry. I've had clients say, well, I'm raising teenagers right now and I have a full plate, or my own health isn't great, or I just retired and I was going to travel or spend time with my grandkids. Those aren't excuses, they're realities. There's nothing irresponsible about recognizing you don't have the bandwidth right now. Sometimes saying no is the best decision. Question 4 is, are you comfortable being the bad guy? Because sooner or later, you may have to say no. You may have to hold a boundary or push back, and someone will be disappointed. You may have to tell your brother that the money can't be distributed yet. You may have to enforce terms in the agreement that you didn't write and you may not even agree with, but you're still responsible for carrying them out. I've watched good-hearted and well-intentioned people become targets of real anger or even irrational behavior. They didn't do anything wrong, but they're the messenger. So you'll need to be able to separate emotions from your legal responsibility. Because if not, this role will become exhausting and stressful. Question 5 is, what is this going to cost you emotionally? Grief takes energy. Conflict takes energy. Responsibility takes energy. And together, they can become too much to bear, overwhelming. I had a client who'd spent 14 months caring for his mother with dementia full-time before she passed. And now he needs to take on a whole new role as successor trustee. And he said, it was really intense, and I just don't have anything left. Accepting this role should never come from guilt. It should come from capacity. And after talking, he and I came up with a solution that worked out much better for him. So you've worked through the questions. And what if your answer is, no, I don't think I should do this? What happens now? Well, have you already started the job? There's a legal difference between declining before you start and resigning after you've already begun. And most people don't know this until it's too late. So if you have not already started, then you can typically decline by signing a short document called a declination to serve. The next person named in the trust steps in. Simple, clean. But if you have already started acting as trustee, then now you're not declining, you're resigning. And that's a different process with formal notices, record transfers, and potentially an accounting of what happened while you were in charge. The worst thing you can do is mentally check out while you're still legally in charge. If it becomes too much and you're just done and you want to quit, then talk to an attorney and leave in the right way so that you protect yourself and the estate. So after all this, I hope you're not walking away thinking this video was about saying no or about saying yes. It wasn't. It was about making an informed decision. Being named as a trustee is an expression of trust. Accepting the role is a decision. Those are not the same thing. And if you decide that you're going to serve, you don't have to do it alone. In most trust administrations, the trust itself pays the reasonable cost of administration, including legal guidance. Getting professional help isn't a luxury. It's part of doing the job right. So before you sign anything, before you call the bank, before you introduce yourself as the trustee. Ask, am I saying yes because I'm prepared and ready to take on this responsibility, or because I feel pressured? And if you've decided you're going to do this, then the next video will cover the 7 mistakes that get successor trustees into the most trouble. Most of the time, they are honest and capable people, but nobody's warned them. And that's the video linked in the description, because knowing those mistakes before your first decision could save you months of stress and potentially thousands of dollars. I'll see you there.